Hello dear students and welcome to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. I am your faculty Amit Ajmani, and in this lecture we will continue up the chapter that we started in the previous lecture, that is tissues in plants and animals. Let us try to brush up all the topics which we have done till now in this chapter tissues. We talked about what exactly are tissues, a group of cells similar in origin and their functions. We studied about the type of tissues, the plant tissues and the animal tissues, and we discussed the differences between the plant tissues and animal tissues. Then we discussed in details about the two types of plant tissues, that is the meristematic tissues, which are also called meristems, and the permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues, what exactly were the features of the cells of meristematic tissues? The continuous division of cells taking place. Then we studied about the various types of meristematic tissue depending upon their locations. Apical meristems, which help in the growth of the plant lengthwise. Lateral meristems, present at the lateral sides of the plants and helping in the growth of the girth or the width or the cambium. And intercalary meristems, which are present on the nodes and internodes of leaves, twigs, branches. Then we studied about the types of simple permanent tissues, that is the tissues made up of only one kind of cells, in which we studied about parenchyma, chlorenchyma, arenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma and their functions. We studied about epidermis and the functions of epidermis. We studied about stomata, the functions of stomata and transpiration. These are all the topics which we have done in the previous lecture. Now, let us start up with the new topic, that is the type of complex permanent tissues. The permanent tissues are those meristematic tissues which have lost their ability to divide. These were of two types, simple and complex. Simple we have done in detail in the previous lecture, and in this lecture we'll be discussing about the complex permanent tissues. Now, what exactly are complex permanent tissues? These are the permanent tissues which are made up of more than one type of cells. These permanent tissues are further divided into two types, that is xylem and phloem. These xylem and phloem are the main conducting tissues present in plants, and both these conducting tissues taken together, that is xylem and phloem, together they constitute the vascular bundle. So what is vascular bundle? It is xylem and phloem both taken together are known as vascular bundle. Let us study each one of them one by one, xylem and phloem, starting up with xylem. Now this xylem is a type of complex permanent tissue which is responsible for conducting water and the mineral salts which are dissolved in water. Now plants take all the water and the minerals dissolved in water from the soil. So the transportation in xylem takes place from the roots to plant body, and this transportation is unidirectional. It is in one direction, vertically upwards, that is from roots to plant body. Now these xylem are further categorized into four types. What are these four types? The four types are tracheids, xylem vessels or only vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem sclerenchyma or xylem fibers. Now what are these four types? Let us try to understand one by one. Tracheids are elongated or tube-like cells with thick and lignified walls and tapering ends. Now these tracheids allow them to transport water and minerals vertically. Talking about the vessels are long cylindrical tube-like structures which are made up of many cells. In these vessels, protoplasm is absent. These vessels are absent in gymnosperms. These vessels are a chief characteristic of angiosperms. We have studied about gymnosperms and angiosperms. Angiosperms are the flowering plants. So vessels are absent in gymnosperms. They are a chief characteristic of the flowering plants, that is angiosperms. And these vessels along with tracheids help in transporting minerals and water vertically. So when we talk about xylem, among these xylem, these tracheids and vessels, they help in mainly the conduction of water and minerals, right? Next type of xylem is xylem parenchyma. Now this xylem parenchyma cells are made up of cellulose, and the function is that they usually store food and they help in the sideways conduction of water. Talking about xylem sclerenchyma or xylem fibers, their main function is to provide support to the tissue. So this is all about xylem. Number one, when we talk about xylem, we say that xylem are the type of complex permanent tissues which are responsible for conduction of water and mineral salts. The transportation in xylem is unidirectional from roots to plant body. Four types of xylem that we have studied: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem sclerenchyma, also called xylem fibers. Out of these, tracheids and vessels are the main conductive tissues of xylem. Quite importantly, vessels are absent in gymnosperms, present in angiosperms. Vessels do not have protoplasm in them. These are a few things you need to remember in xylem. Clear? Now next, let us talk about the second type of complex permanent tissues. They are phloem. Now what are phloem? Phloem are the types of complex permanent tissues which are responsible for conducting sugar from leaves to the plant body. This sugar, or we can say the food which is synthesized in leaves, that food is transported by phloem, and the transportation is bidirectional. Unlike xylem, in xylem the transportation was unidirectional, and in phloem the transportation is bidirectional, and this transportation takes place from the leaves to the plant body because the food is manufactured or synthesized in the leaves. Now this phloem is also further divided into four types. What are these four types of phloem? These are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. So it is easy to remember because phloem parenchyma and xylem parenchyma both were there. Just like xylem fibers, we have phloem fibers also. So fibers and parenchyma are common in both xylem and phloem. In xylem, we had tracheids and vessels. In phloem, additionally, we have sieve tubes and companion cells. Let us try to understand all these types of phloem one by one. Now, talking about sieve tubes. These sieve tube elements are long tube-like structures which are associated with companion cells. They have perforated walls. They have the walls having perforations in them, holes in them. And these perforated walls help in transportation of food in plants from leaves to other parts, right? So sieve tubes have perforated walls. We need to remember. Now talking about the companion cells. These companion cells help in maintaining in the pressure gradient in the sieve tubes. Quite importantly, gymnosperms have albuminous cells in place of companion cells. Gymnosperms lack in companion cells. Rather than having companion cells, they have albuminous cells. Fine. So, sieve tubes and companion cells together, they are both the main conducting tissue of phloem, which transport food from the leaves to the plant body. Phloem fibers, just like xylem fibers, they are made up of sclerenchymatous cells, and phloem parenchyma. They are absent in most of the monocotyledons or the monocots. So these are the four types of phloem, right? Now let us try to differentiate between xylem and phloem. Both of them are the complex permanent tissues, but still there are quite many differences between them. What are these? Let us try to relate one by one. Xylem helps in transporting water and dissolved nutrients. This is the function of xylem. And phloem transports food. This process of transportation of food by phloem is termed as translocation. This is a term which you need to know. What is translocation? It is the process of transportation of food by phloem from the leaves to the plant body. Both of them are conducting tissues, but they conduct different things. Xylem is conducting water and the nutrients dissolved in the water, whereas phloem is conducting food. The transportation in xylem is from roots to the plant body because water is absorbed by the plants through the soil with the help of their roots. Whereas in phloem, the transportation is from leaves to plant body because the food is manufactured in leaves. In xylem, the transportation is unidirectional, that is, in one direction only, from roots to plant body vertically up. Whereas in phloem, the transportation is bidirectional, that is, in both directions. Now, quite important difference is that xylem is composed of mainly dead cells. Except xylem parenchyma, all the other type of xylems, whether it is vessels or tracheids or xylem fibers, they are dead cells. Only xylem parenchyma is living, right? Whereas phloem is mainly composed of living cells except phloem fibers, means phloem fibers are dead cells, whereas all the other like companion cells, sieve tubes and phloem parenchyma are living. Fine. Now in xylem we just studied that the main conducting tissues are tracheids and xylem vessels. Both of them are made up of dead cells. Whereas the main conducting tissues in the case of phloem are sieve tubes and companion cells, and both of them are made up of living cells. Talking about the types of xylem, four types of xylem we have studied: tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers or xylem sclerenchyma. And talking about the phloem, their four types are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So these are a few differences between xylem and phloem based on exactly number one, what they are conducting, whether it is water and dissolved nutrients or food, from where they are conducting, from roots to plant body and leaves to plant body, in which direction the conduction is taking place, is it unidirectional or bidirectional, what exactly they are composed of, dead cells or living cells, and their types. the four types of xylem and the four types of phloem, right? So this is about xylem and phloem, the main conducting tissues or the complex permanent tissues present in plants, right? Now, we saw that the plant tissues are divided into two parts. One are the meristematic tissues and one are the permanent tissues. What are the basic differences between the meristematic tissues and permanent tissues? Let us try to relate one by one. Talking about the meristematic tissues, their cells are small and they are undifferentiated. Why? Because they are yet in the dividing stage. They have not acquired their actual permanent shape, size and function. But when we talk about the permanent tissues, their cells are large, they are differentiated with different shapes. They have got a fixed shape, they have got a fixed purpose, fixed function. The cells of the meristematic tissue are capable of dividing. That is what their role is, that is what their function is. But when we talk about the cells of permanent tissue, they have lost the ability to divide. We know that permanent tissues are nothing else but the meristematic tissues only, which have lost the ability to divide any further. In meristematic tissues, the cells are undifferentiated because they have not attained any definite shape and size. But the permanent tissues are differentiated as they have attained definite shape, definite form, definite size, and definite functions too. In case of meristematic tissues, the cell wall is thin, right? But in permanent tissues, it may be thin or thick both. In meristematic tissues, cells have very few small vacuoles or no vacuoles at all. Reason we have studied when we were taking up the meristematic tissue topic in the previous class, that the meristematic tissues are continuously dividing cells. They have to divide in order to grow in number, in order to help in the growth of the plant. So they do not have the role of storing anything. And vacuoles, we know that they are the cell organelles which basically are the storage sacs. So that is why the meristematic tissue cells have few or almost no vacuoles at all. But when we talk about permanent tissues, there is a large central vacuole which occurs in living permanent cells. In meristematic tissue, intercellular spaces are absent. But when we talk about the permanent tissues, intercellular spaces are often present. When we talk about the location, the meristematic tissues are found in growing parts of the plants only. Once again, it is all depending upon their function. Their function is to divide and to help in the growth of the plants. So they are present in all those parts which are the growing parts of the plants. But the permanent tissues are found in all the parts of the plants, right? So these are a basic few differences between meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. And this is all about the various plant tissues. Just try to brush up the topic in which we have studied about mainly the plant tissues. Plant tissues are the tissues present in plants. These are adapted in such a way that they are adjusted according to the sedentary existence of the plants. These plant tissues we categorized into two types. One are the meristematic tissue or the meristems, and the other we talked about the permanent tissues. Right, let us try to summarize it in the form of a flow chart so that we are able to relate. Now these meristematic tissues were further, we said, depending upon the location, divided into apical meristems and lateral meristems and intercalary meristems. Their location quite important at the apical or the tips of the stem and root, lateral that means on the sides or the girth, intercalary between the nodes, internodes of leaves, roots, branches, twigs, etc. Apical, it grows the plant lengthwise, and lateral, it grows the girth or the cambium of the plant, and intercalary, it helps in the growing up of the branches, twigs and leaves. Talking about the permanent tissues, these permanent tissues are the meristematic tissues which have lost their ability to divided into two parts further: simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Now, the simple permanent tissues were further divided or subdivided into three parts. They were parenchyma. Second one were collenchyma. Third one were sclerenchyma. The parenchyma made up of living cells, collenchyma made up of living cells, sclerenchyma made up of dead cells. Parenchyma, very loosely packed cells, and there were large intercellular spaces. Collenchyma, closely packed cells with less intercellular spaces, and sclerenchyma, totally packed cells with no intercellular spaces. Parenchyma helps in the mechanical support to the plants, collenchyma for flexibility, and sclerenchyma is only for support, hardness and stiffness. Sclerenchyma has lignified walls, right? And sclerenchyma is present in the husk of coconut that we recalled. This parenchyma, further we talked about two things. One is chlorenchyma. When there is chlorophyll present in parenchyma, it is called chlorenchyma, which helps in photosynthesis by absorbing sunlight. And if air cavities are present in parenchyma, that is called aerenchyma, present in aquatic plants, providing buoyancy to help them afloat. So these two are also further types of parenchyma. Next we talked about complex permanent tissues, further divided into two, that is xylem and phloem. This xylem we talked about further subdivided into four parts, and the phloem also subdivided into four parts. Xylem is made up of tracheids, then xylem, the second part is vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Talking about phloem, it is the companion cells, it is the sieve tubes, it is the phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. We talked about the functions of each one of them. In xylem, tracheids and vessels are the main conducting tissue, and in phloem, companion cells and sieve tubes are the main conducting tissues. We also saw the differences between xylem and phloem. This is a flow chart with the help of which you can remember, you can learn and relate what all plant tissues are all about. Okay, we are just ending up our lecture here only, very small lecture, because we are just completed with plant tissues, and I want you people to first of all go through and learn all the types of plant tissues. And in the next lecture, we'll start up with the animal tissues. They are quite important. We'll be discussing about all the details of animal tissues, and we'll be able to relate after that what are the various differences between the plant tissues and the animal tissues. Clear? So please go through this part. till the next lecture and get prepared with all the details of these two types of plant tissues, meristematic and permanent, and their further subdivisions, their functions. Fine. So I'll meet you soon with the next class in which we'll be talking about animal tissues. Till then, study hard, stay healthy, take care of yourself, and stay happy. Thank you so much for watching. Meet soon in the next class.